Okay, let's be honest. If we were going to give black mamas a grade for how well they've done, what grade would we give them?
Wait, are we grading on the curve or scale? How we doing? What we doing?
You know, I think the problem is we've been grading on the curve. When it comes to the problems with the black family, when it comes to the problems in the black community, do we really place a lot of scrutiny on black mamas like we need to? So tonight we talking about, let me tell you about your mama. Let's get into it. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to Man Talk Mondays. We are back once again with another hot one for you.
Fire.
I'm Derek, the Thought Engineer, here with my man sitting next to me, comedian John Yogi.
You better ask somebody if they ain't told you. It's going to be a hot one tonight.
Oh,
hot.
Yes. Right. You better have some water sitting next to you or something. So you're just going to dash it on your head.
Yes. Yes.
Before we get into it, let me just remind everybody, it's Man's Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we give you the rational realities of relationships, but we're coming from a man's perspective. Now, this conversation isn't just for men. We want everybody to participate, right? Everybody participate. We want to hear from you, right? And don't forget, make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscription button and like this and send it out to all your friends.
And also, while we're doing that, I get people all the time calling me and telling me how great the show was. And you're right, it is a great show. But we need you guys to be engaging with us. Jump in the comments and talk to each other. And more importantly, talk to us and let us know where you're calling from and what your opinion is about what we're doing. We need you engaging with us. Don't you call me talking about how great the show was if you hadn't engaged us in the comments, okay? This is what we need from you guys. Come on now. We need you guys to sit down and smoke some, but we also need you guys to jump in those comments as well.
All right. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy now.
All right. Because I know y'all want to talk about what we're talking about tonight, which we talking about, let me tell you about your mama. You know, ain't that what people say? You know what I'm saying? When your siblings, you know what I'm saying? I heard siblings, my wife will do this sometimes when they mama, they don't agree with something she said or some shit, they'll call each other, girl, let me tell you about your mama. So we're going to have an honest, open conversation. Now, we're not trying to bash nobody.
We're not bashing nobody.
That's not what we're here to do, to bash anybody.
We're not bashing nobody.
But we have noticed that there is...
Wait. Unless the truth is bashing.
Oh, but you know, a lot of people do that though. When they don't want to hear the truth, they turn it on you, try to make it seem like you attacking them or doing something like that.
We're keeping it a buck.
Right, keeping it a buck. We both got, you know, came from women. We love them, everything like that. But we've noticed that there's something going on in the black community. There's something going on in black society where it's like women can do no wrong. Like mamas are infallible. They can do no wrong. And is that healthy for us? Is that a healthy perspective for us?
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's not at all, because we have to. It's one thing we do constantly in the black community is we always talking about Slewfoot.
Slewfoot.
We always talking about dad. We always can talk about what men doing and what men not doing.
Yeah, we run daddy through the ring.
Oh my God, we do. And get this. This is what kills me. Daddy never says a word.
And why do men do that? Men will just ride that bill and roll and just
won't say nothing.
And every now and then you get a man is like, all right, don't come over here telling me it's your mama. Your mama did this, your mama did that. But we don't ever take
and we wave him off. Gone, you crazy. You ain't
right.
You even talk about mama.
Hey, because and speaking of the pedestal that we put black mamas on,
we put them on the pedestal. I'll very much so.
Black mamas are sacred in the black community. You want to start a fight? You really want to start a fight? Say something about somebody's mama.
Yeah. You're right. You ain't been in the fight.
You ain't been in the fight till you start talking about
somebody's mom.
Talking about somebody's mama. And could daddy do it all by himself? Could all that's wrong, could it all be on him like that?
It couldn't all be on him. It took two to get you here, and it take two to make that thing last, man. It's just amazing in the black community. Mom is put on the pedestal while daddy is outside in the bushes. It's like why is it so one-sided in the black community?
Yeah. And I've seen instances where the guy just basically, he just wears it. And then at some point, life goes on and you find out, hold up.
Daddy wasn't as crazy as we thought he was.
Daddy wasn't as crazy, or he wasn't as bad
as we thought. Absolutely. Because it took me and my brothers to get older before we understood relationships and what goes on in them.
Oh.
Because we assumed it was all my daddy. Man. Until we got older, we was like, perhaps it wasn't all daddy. Perhaps mom had something to do with this as well.
I remember a guy on a video, he said he hated his daddy. He thought his daddy was the worst thing until he got a girl pregnant.
Oh.
And he had a baby mama.
Oh, but don't nothing break you. Listen to me. Don't nothing break you all the way down like a baby mama, and y'all don't stay together.
Yeah.
And she want child support, and she don't want this, she want that. And then I'm gonna say this, and she can't have you and she wants you.
Oh man.
Don't nothing break you down to the essence of the trick.
Yeah. You can't see black mamas. And I'm not saying all just black mamas. We focusing on black mamas right now because if you didn't notice, we black. But black mamas will use kids as leverage against a man. And it's almost like you sacrificing the kid for the sake of your ego or your own feelings or something like that.
Well, I mean, this is a tough one. This is a tough.
That's what we do.
This is a tough one.
That's what we do
because we never pull the covers back.
Oh
man, you use that kid because you want that man that don't want you.
Yeah,
there's a pretty good chance you use the kid to keep the man, thinking that it was gonna keep the man, and it didn't. And that little rascal come out looking just like him, and now he has to pay. Now you busting him upside his head every time you see him because you upset because you wanted the daddy, and that kid didn't.
He a constant reminder.
He the constant reminder.
Reminder.
And life is the constant reminder.
Yeah.
Because you got to go at it alone. You're trying to raise these two bad kids on your own.
So what are some of the behaviors that arise out of this thing that we do of holding mamas on the black pedestal to where they infallible? What are some of the behaviors that we have to do?
Before we get to that, I got this popped in my head.
Okay.
I just remember this guy asking, I was doing the balloon pop thing. The guy asked, okay, how many kids you got? The woman said, I have 3 kids. How many baby dads? You got 3 baby dads. And I'm like, and when we hear that, we don't even pay attention. We don't even say, wait a minute, what was you doing? How you didn't learn 3 times?
Your ability to make decisions
is trash.
Right.
We don't even call them on it. We don't even call them on it.
And why don't we call them on it?
I'm gonna do you one better. The high earning guy said he didn't want a chick that had a baby.
I can't remember the name of the show.
And they was hot. Yeah. They was hot at it. Whoa, what you mean you don't want a chick that a woman that has a baby? Your mama was a single parent. Whoa.
Everybody came for him.
Sure did.
Everybody came for him. Even the host, Egypt Sherrod. I'm calling out a name because she may be mad when she did this. Because host supposed to kind of stay impartial,
That's supposed to get involved
But he said that her being a black mama, she felt like she had to come to the aid of the black mama that was being, and the young man, he's just saying, he said, I didn't work this hard on myself to get myself to a certain level and not have choices. And it's almost as if they were kind of forcing him to accept something that he said he didn't really want.
Oh, wait, I got one for you.
What you got? What else you got?
Just because a lot of black women have kids don't mean they was issued to them at birth.
Oh,
we have made that normal, and that is not normal.
Yeah.
So much so my daughter is 31 years old and don't have any kids.
Mm-hmm.
And people are asking her daily, when are you gonna have some kids?
When you gonna have some kids?
Hell, she gonna have some kids when we get some son-in-laws in there. We do, man, in our community, we do things so ass backwards.
Yeah.
Kids don't come first, contrary to what we believe.
Yeah.
Kids don't come first.
Yeah, dude. And really, I think the reason why there's been this focus on kids coming first is because the way kids love, you don't have to work. I gotta work for that man.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta be doing something. I gotta.
You're right.
But the kids just have this natural, this all and everything for their mom.
Because you all they got.
You all they got. Especially when you picked that rascal that left you, and now
that was running from responsibility when he ran across you.
Right. Exactly. But you picked him. He didn't show any signs that he was reliable. He hadn't showed signs of.
Let me say this. Oh, because I can see it in the comments right now.
Go ahead.
I see it in the comments, we not giving Slew for the pass. I don't want y'all to think we giving that sorry rascal the pass. We're not. But we just want to make sure that we holding everybody accountable for what's going on in relationships today.
Yeah. You know what it's like? It's like you have this house and you do all of this cleaning, but it's this one room that
you don't go in.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Don't nobody touch.
And you don't want nobody going in there.
Right. You don't want nobody going. You will guard that room with your life, because what does it say about you? You don't have yourself together like you projected. Yeah. And that's what's happening with the black family. That's what happened to black society when we don't hold mama accountable for the decisions that she made. It becomes that room that really tells the story, or it's a vital part of the story. And so we miss the whole story. But some of these attitudes, some of these behaviors, whatever happened when you challenge a black mama? You just ask a question. You ain't come at them, but you ask a question that they don't want to answer.
Well, this what pops in my head. I'm looking at TikTok is the devil too.
Yes.
So I'm looking at TikTok, and the boy says, "Mom, I did a blood test today, and I found out the man that you've been saying is my dad is not my daddy." And mom like, "Whoa, what you doing? First of all, what you do that for? If I told you that he was your daddy, you was supposed to ride with that and believe what I said." Mm-hmm. And obviously, if he didn't rock with what you saying, you have given him a reason not to believe or trust what you're saying. If he didn't believe it, because there was conversation had that, "Mom, this don't feel right." It ain't supposed to feel right. That's your daddy.
Yeah. Well, what would Tyler Perry be if his mom had that conversation with him?
And nobody talks about that.
Because let's be honest, as much as Tyler praised his mom on that documentary that he did, it wasn't until he found out that man that he thought was his daddy, that abused him and did him all kinds of wrong, was not his daddy. Mama knew. Now, the man knew. He knew the whole time, which not justifying nothing he did. It was wrong as two left shoes. But you understand different now. That was not him beating on his natural son, because when he came to that woman, she was pregnant. I think she cheated on him or something and ended up pregnant, and he ended up taking care of.
I want to say I read the book Pimp.
Oh, Iceberg Slim. Yeah.
And I want to say his mom was with a guy that loved him and the boy, and he was a straight-laced guy, had a hardware store, and their lives were changing. He making good money, and mom left him for some hustler dude.
Oh wow!
And it changed the trajectory of not only her life but his life.
Think about the implications of that. Tell them who Iceberg Slim is, so people understand the implications of the decisions that she made for their family.
Dude, it's crazy, because he watched the man begging his mom to stay. He's looking at the man like, Mom, what are you doing? You about to mess the bag up for everybody.
Boy, messing it up for everybody.
Mom said he was boring. She didn't want that.
We hear that a lot. He boring, he don't excite me and all this type of stuff. But that single decision, Iceberg Slim was one of the most notorious pimps that ever walked this earth.
Mm-hmm.
He was a pimp. And what do pimps do? They use women as basically their business. Send women out, they manage prostitutes. And that decision that his mom made sent him down a path to where he ends up being this man that does that to women.
Because ultimately, I believe he resented his mom for that.
Right.
And which he didn't say in the book.
Right.
But every decision that he made after that was but again, his mom was there.
His mom was there. Right. And should mom, and y'all let us know, y'all jump in the comments, let us know, should mom get a pass just because she's present? Should she get a pass simply because she's present?
I think she should get something. I don't know if we should pass her. This is the thing. So the grade is pass, or if the grade is pass or fail, she should get a pass.
She should get a pass
because she showed up.
That's the only options. Pass.
If it's pass,
it's not a scale. It's just either
if it's pass or fail.
Right.
But if it's a scale, she should get 20 to 25 points because she there. Now that don't make her great. That don't make her the mom of the year. That don't make her none of that.
Yeah.
That just makes her grade. She starts at a 25, whereas dad started at a -10.
Yeah. And a lot of times, adult life really begins when you see your mama as a woman and not just your mama. When you can see your mama as a woman,
yes,
and not just your mama,
yes,
you understand, mama, you made some decisions, you did some stuff, and you start to put things in perspective. But if you can never go there, and there's this air of don't you go there with me, or don't you go there with mama, people are beginning to tell the story of how mama did me. One girl, she said she saved up her money. Her mama opened her account when she was like in her early teens. She gets to college, her first year of college. She wants to go out the country for the summer. She sacrifices, hanging out with her friends. She's working, everything, spending up, building up her finances. And she goes to get a passport, thinking the money's there, and get there, the money gone. Only person has access to the account is mama. She calls mama.
Mama waiting on her.
It's right. It's like, what you want?
Because mama know what mama done did.
Mama know what mama done did.
Mama don't want to be called.
Don't want to be called on it. So she proceeds to tell her, you owe me this. You owe me this. Anybody think that's problematic?
Well, see, let me stop right. See, because you said something that's been had me stewing ever since we started talking about this.
What I said.
When you talk and people, when you talked about this, I thought about this for the 9 months.
For the 9 months,
when you told me that,
I carried
you.
That is. People want to talk about toxic. That is toxic. For the 9 months I carried you, growing inside me, no charge. And it's like black mamas are running up a bill on their kids. No, we're not saying you can't remind kids of the sacrifices that have been made for them. But when you feel like you can collect when you want to, as opposed to allowing that child the opportunity to show that love and give that love back and take care of you, because who's the first person that gets a house when that dude get the NFL contract?
Mama. That's the first thing he gonna do is buy mama house.
Buy mama house.
I was looking at the movie on Max, The Penguin. The Penguin says he was going to be there to give his mama everything that men didn't and couldn't.
Oh wow.
He said, "Mom, I'm gonna take care of you, Mom." It was his personal vendetta that I'm going to make sure my mom is good.
Wow. And that's the focus. But when you come to your kids and you've been running a bill up on them, and then when they don't feel like paying when you want them to pay, and you just go and you take, this girl dad left her an inheritance.
Oh yeah.
Dad left her an inheritance, and the mom went and took the money.
And said it was hers.
And said it was hers.
Never give me no child support
because he couldn't get it through you to get it to where it needed to go. So he held on to it and made provisions for his daughter. And then when he died, you went and stole, not collected, you stole money from your own child and justified it.
Oh well, they're gonna justify it now. They're gonna justify
and justify doing it.
And if it hadn't been for social media, that kind of stuff would have been under the rug. Because
under the rug.
Moms ain't just start doing that.
Oh no! They ain't just start doing that. Mom has
been doing that kind of stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's not what we talk about.
Yeah,
we talk about Dad was Rolling Stone. We don't talk about why Dad wasn't at home. We don't talk about Mom raising so much hell to where Daddy wouldn't come home. We don't talk about that.
Wow. But let's just back it up just a minute,
because it may sound like we're attacking.
Right.
That's not what we do.
But that's the state of affairs, and we got to be honest about the state of affairs, because I'm pretty sure if somebody in these comments, somebody watching this right now, can relate to their mom doing something that she really didn't have no business doing, but she justified it just because on the premise that she mama. And when you start looking at right is right and wrong is wrong, you gotta really call a spade a spade.
You know what's so significant about this is I make sure that we parent from a perspective of me and my wife, to where when the kids get grown, they don't look back and say, "Wow, Mom and Dad was this, or Mom and Dad wasn't that." No, it's gonna be fair. Because if we not nothing else, we're gonna be fair. Now, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, that's one thing, but it's not gonna be because Mom and Dad did this or did that. No, we're not gonna have that, because that's what we came up in. And so we definitely not gonna subject our kids to that. You know, it's funny, we always say we don't want our kids to come up and deal with what we had to deal with. We won't put a name on that thing either.
Oh man,
we won't put a name on that thing. But the name on that thing was the irresponsibilities of our parents, of our mom and our dad.
Yeah.
But we just put it on Dad. It was our mom and our dad,
because she's the one you're exposed to. The lack of exposure to Dad and the exposure to the wrong mom equals bad adults, bad kids. It equals kids that have trauma. It equals kids that struggle in adulthood.
The one of the most important things about parent, mom and dad being, why it's so important that mom and dad are together when the kids are born or when the kids are around, because dad is supposed to provide security for the kids and not allow traumas and different things to come in and out of the house. Because if mama is working 2 jobs and mama barely hanging on, now the house is left wide open for everybody to come in and do what they want to do. Now we have more damaged kids. And I heard a pastor say this. I thought this was really good. He said, the problem with the Black community is we expect our pastors to be our mom and our dad because our relationships with our parents ain't what it need to be.
He said that. So, and then you drag them little rascals down to the church and you look at the pastor and the youth pastor and tell them, fix them. They exposed to you in your house more than anything else.
That part.
I've seen it. I've seen parents, they come to the youth leaders and and put it all on them. You ain't teaching my kids right. You ain't teaching them right. Let's be honest. It's what they observe from you that's teaching them more than anything else. So if they're not getting it, listen, the church is not there to run your house. The church is there to reinforce what you are teaching already in your house.
Or should be teaching.
Teaching. And if you're not teaching it, then now your last line of defense becomes the church. By the time the church has to step in, your kid's already in trouble.
Yeah, it's too late, man. Yeah, too late.
We're going to have a care package for them when we come visit them in jail. But if they ain't listening to you, guess what? Especially when you go home and you talking about the pastor. But that's a whole nother.
No, man, this funny because I was telling somebody the other day. I say, man, I didn't understand this, but I know that the reason why kids should leave the house by a certain age is because when it gets to where the parent can't tell them what to do anymore, they need to be out of that house.
Oh yeah.
And now this can either happen earlier by what they've seen from you,
right?
Or this can happen later,
right?
But most of the time, if they've seen you at your worst and seen you doing anything, man, they're gonna lose respect for you.
There has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. I remember there was this cartoon. I don't know if it was Looney Tunes or something, but it was a mom and a dad animal, and they had just had a baby. And the mom was protecting the baby from the daddy because he was being rough. Because listen, men are rough, right? You seen videos of men playing with kids, and you at the edge of your seat wondering. Now they know what they doing, but kids need that. Let me just say, kids need it. But if the mother isn't there to balance that out, and they just expose, they're going to get somewhere. Things can be too rough sometimes. But at the same time, at the flip side, if there's no man, they get cuddled and coddled too much.
It'd be like Magic Son. Listen, you can't listen. You know what's so funny about this? People want your results, but they don't want to do it the way you do it. I used to wrestle with my boys and throw them across the room. I never forget it. I took Jody one time and I threw him from one side of the room to the other side of the room. We landed on the couch, and he was so shocked and he was so surprised. His eyes was all big. He was like, "I don't want to do that."
You find their limits.
You find what their limits are exactly.
Right, and men are there for that.
Exactly.
Right, but I'm gonna be honest. My mom didn't push me. Only time I got pushed was when I started playing sports. The only time my mom would push me is when I had to do that Martin Luther King speech every year after I did it the first time. Now, I appreciate her challenging me the way she did. I appreciate everything she taught me, but she couldn't challenge me the way that a man did.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate the coaches and stuff that I had because they see something in you and they want to get the best out of you. So they challenge you, they push you. But one of the biggest deterrents from coaches being able to push their kids
is the parents.
No, black mamas.
Oh, because they'll pull their kid. If they feel like
you too rough.
Social media video of the man.
Marshawn Lynch.
I forgot about that. Yes,
Marshawn was like, where's your husband?
Yeah.
Is there a man I could talk to? Because he was trying to get them to see. He was. If you go to a football practice and them coaches, they rough. Yeah, it's a rough sport.
And mom and them don't want
that. Right. This talented kid, Kamani McClain, coming out of high school, one of the most celebrated athletes coming out of high school. He goes to Dion. He goes to Colorado, goes to Dion.
Oh, is that the receiver that could never get on?
Oh, he was a problem. He had attitude.
And he transferred.
Listening to, his daddy not around, but his mama is trying to run the show. Yeah, my son is, my son that. Your son gonna have to listen to somebody. Now his career is over. Hopefully he can turn it around.
Get to be at home with his mom
and get away from her and get with somebody that can call him on his mess, because that's what Dion was trying to do.
But mama not gonna let you be
right, especially he the meal ticket.
She ain't gonna let you be at home with her and not bringing no money.
Ah, bro. But she running his career in the ground. Now, granted, you got some mamas that can manage, right? Zion Williamson mama got him to the league. But now, you know what I'm saying, he trying
but there had to be a man involved somewhere for that now.
Yeah, coaches and stuff, man. That's valuable. But if you could go back if you can go back and have a conversation with your mom, an honest, open conversation, what would you ask? How do you think that conversation would go?
Well, I think it'll go just like the conversation's going now. One of the things about social media, it allows us to look inside a lot of the homes and people.
Oh man!
But what it also does, it allows us to understand and see would mine have been like this? It would have most likely it would have been just. As a matter of fact, my mama probably would have pulled something like, "Oh no, you're not gonna talk to me or this," because with every old black person is disrespect. Oh, you're not for disrespect me, but my mom not disrespecting me. I just asked you a question. Oh, you asked me about your daddy. I told you that man, you being disrespectful. Everything you is can not be disrespect.
The right tone and everything, but it's
everything disrespect.
Right. Why? Because I don't want you to ask me that. And if you're not ready for the questions, just say, baby, that's something that brings up something for me that I don't want to talk about right now.
But hold on.
I can accept that though.
I can't let you get off like that. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because once you decide I'm going to bring a child, I'm going to allow a child to come into this relationship. It's not about you no more. It's not about you and that guy. It's about that child. And too many times in these relationships, we are too willing to risk the child for that relationship.
Oh man, the child is collateral damage.
For too many times.
The child is collateral damage.
Too many times.
And then when the child gets older and wants to express themselves, they still can't express themselves the way they want to. Watching Paternity Court one time.
You ain't even got to look at Paternity Court. You seen Kirk Franklin's thing play out in front of everybody. And everybody like, woman, tell that man who his daddy is.
Two tests.
You got him running all over time. Let me tell you, there's nothing worse than success and not having no peace.
Bro.
And all that man was asking his mom for, it was some mom. I got everything I could ever have.
Wow.
But I don't have no peace about who my dad is. Can you give me that? I can't do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it because it's gonna make me look and feel some kind of way.
And see, I think that's the issue. I think black women worry about public perception so much that they would rather deal with what's gonna keep them in a positive light than actually cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up so that their true light can actually shine.
But if grandmother and them was doing hell, they would have taught the kids to do the same thing. I was talking to someone, and I said, well, why don't you talk to the kids? She said, well, my mama never talked to us.
No. Well,
we didn't know daddy wasn't hard at home, and then when he came home, mom raised so much hell to where he ended up leaving to where we didn't really know who he was. When he would try to make effort to come back, she wasn't having it.
Yeah.
It's like you'd rather be by yourself.
Right.
And not talk to the kids because all they're going to do is reproduce what they seen at home. And this is what's so crazy.
Yes.
You would think that kids would be like, oh, hell no, I don't want that. But that's not what they do.
Right.
They go right back. They go right back to what they've seen. They do what they've seen. They don't do what you tell them to do. They do what you do.
So with that in mind, do you think black mamas face more pressure to be perfect than anybody else? Or is that
if they're being measured by other black women?
So you say men don't hold them to that?
Why would we know who you are?
We know who you are.
We know what your flaws are, just like you know what ours are. But you too busy telling me about mine to fix yours. One of the craziest things about marriage is women can tell us how to be men. What you need to be doing. What you need to be doing.
I love music so time. You know what song just drives me nuts?
Teach me how to love.
What? Let's sit down somewhere, boy. Talking about teach me how to love. She got problems too. And because that's been the standard, woman and how a woman loves is the standard. That's what's wrong with black societies and black communities. Because the way a man loves, the way a man's love is not accepted. Because you know how men love? We correct.
Oh, they don't want that love.
No, they don't want that love.
They don't want that.
Men instruct and correct. That is the first. That is the first
They want gifts.
sign that a man loves you.
They want gifts.
Right. You want it to be celebrated.
Yes.
And a man don't have no problem celebrating you. But until you when you stop listening to him, and guess what? He typically gonna either get quiet to where he don't say nothing or he leave.
Well, and one of the things that we don't ever deal with in Black communities is why the state of the state of what we in. Why did it get and why did it get like that? Because most of the time we can tell you how and why it got there, but what are we doing to fix it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel like we're doing anything to fix it, because before we can do that, we have to start calling folk to the carpets.
Right.
This is what we got to stop doing.
Right.
And before we can get to that part, we got to hold everybody's feet to the fire. And mama, this is your time.
So I was saying, watching that episode of Paternity Court. Now, the young lady is grown. She's a full-grown woman. Her mom is standing beside her, and she got two men that's being tested to see if this woman's dad. And I'm watching her. She's projecting this anger towards these men. The mama didn't really handle it well, and she didn't tell the men to really know if they were the father or not. And so the young lady's coming at them like, you weren't there. And they were saying, how could I be there? I didn't know if you were mine, and all this type of stuff. And the mama is standing beside her with this smug look on her face, like, baby, you all right. Because, I've been mama and daddy. And I saw the problem. She couldn't direct the anger where she really wanted it to, because she was really upset with her.
Mama just out there giving that work up.
Because, bro, mama probably would have went upside her head right then if she had turned to her and said, this is on you. You knew who my daddy was.
That's not. How many times on paternity test do the judge say, mama, what the hell?
Right.
It ain't neither one of these guys, and you got both of these people up in here. They don't never go to the woman and say, what are we doing?
Right. Because they say, be honest. Is there anybody? No. You are not the father.
Do what they do.
Fall out. Right.
And you're gonna take. I'm like, but no, you can't pass out on that. The daddy should be passing out on that. That ain't your mama.
Right.
But you grasping for straws because I need somebody to feel sorry for me.
Right. You either go for hero or victim. But the truth of the matter is, you got to be able to accept that villain role sometimes. Because if we're not able to truly be honest about everything that happened, then people are covering up feelings and they're stewing and brewing. Then all of a sudden they blow up, or people distance themselves, right? They don't come see mama because you don't understand what's really going on with them, because they can't have an honest conversation. If you could have an honest conversation with your mom, and drop it in the comments and let us know. If you could really have an honest conversation with your mom, what would you talk about? What would you ask? If you felt like you weren't going to get any backlash or get any, posing like, I'm your mama, you don't come at me like that type stuff, what would you talk to him about? What would you ask him? Really?
Man, that's a good question, because here it is. I'm in my 50s. And my mom is 15 years older than me, which will make her right around 70, which right around 70. So we have had enough, me, her, and my brothers have had enough conversation up to this point, once we got grown, about stuff we didn't understand, that once we got grown, we understood. Because, and the crazy thing about it, the truth of the matter is, most of our parents were kids and didn't know what the hell they was doing with it, and they were trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
But then say that. One of the things I often tell my sons, hey man, listen, this new for me. When we adopted you guys, I had no clue on how to raise boys. I had a little girl I used to that was problem free for me. It's a little more hands-on with boys. It's new to me. And I think if we can be honest with our kids about what we know and what we don't know. There is a level of okay. There's some grace because all I wanted was some grace and not being perfect. Listen, I'm trying to figure this thing out like you all.
Yeah. No, man, that's real. That's real. And we got to be able to be open about that. Right now, we've unpacked the problem, right, and the emotional weight of, dealing with just the air and the stigma of how moms are untouchable, they're infallible. We put them on this pedestal. Moms really have black privilege.
Oh yeah,
they have black privilege.
Yeah,
people always talk about white privilege and how
so much so
they get away with stuff, and because
this how much privilege
mama got black privilege.
Just how much privilege mama got. When there was a woman that had black in her running for president, we at the black community, we felt like automatically she's supposed to be president just because she a black woman.
Black in her. Oh,
that's how much privilege we got. That's how much privilege black women got.
Boy,
when they run for something, we in our community we feel like just because it's a black, she got black in her, she should win.
Yeah, no scrutiny, because you talk about the person that's going to be your leader. And that's all the scrutiny you're going to give them. You know what I'm saying? You ain't checking to see, how they feel about you for real. and nothing.
And nobody stopped to think about why she lost as bad as she lost.
Oh, yeah.
But is that a reflection on how people feel about black women?
No, the rhetoric afterwards, America doesn't deserve black women. Now it turned into this whole attack on black women just because that woman lost. We weren't talking about everybody. Everybody was talking about her. They were talking specifically about her, who is black on convenience alone. Let's be honest. But so
that's neither here nor there.
we want to heal. We want to grow. Yeah. We want to get past this. We want we want the community to get better. So
we got to pull the Band-Aid off. It's time to pull the Band-Aid off.
So let's look at some practical solutions. First thing we need to do is we need to normalize having honest conversations.
That's different. Well, this is the thing. Because from my mother and father's generation, that's not what we did. We didn't question them or talk to them about what they did. We just kind of, that's what they did. We didn't talk about it.
One of the most toxic rules that we have in a black home:
do what I do, not what I say.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. And
listen, that principle doesn't even fly. Your kids always gonna do what they see you do.
Absolutely.
As just a natural. If there were no words spoken in your house, they're gonna do what they see
every time.
And let me tell you, your bad decisions become your kids' second nature. Your bad, how you handle things, that's how I grew up seeing stuff being handled. So that's how I handle it.
So let me ask this. I know time is we up against it, but if we knew that our decision was going to ultimately cost our kids some things, would it make us be better about it, or would we still be like,
I don't think we, especially in the life of undisciplined people, it ain't about the future.
It's about the right now.
It's about the right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
And then after it's all said and done, I wish I had. I wish when the opportunity was there, we didn't take it.
Well, because when it's time for your kids to take care of you,
all
they can remember is the hell that they went through when they were kids.
Right. When they drive you over to Shady Pines to drop you off.
I don't know what Shady Pines is.
That old folks home, that rest home.
That sounds like an old folks home too. What don't nobody want to take you? You know, it's funny. Me and my wife have a running joke. We try to see who's gonna be the nicest to my daughter, because she's gonna take care of us, and the other one's gonna have to go to the gonna have to go to the hole.
But typically, the person they're gonna take care of is the one that prepared them for life the most. Right. Number two, we got to separate actions from identity. separate actions from identity. What I mean by this is when we see behavior that isn't right, we can't come and say,
That's my mom.
this is you, this is what you say. A mother shouldn't do this. A mother wouldn't act like this. I need you to be a mother. Right?
But is that oh, man, I don't know, DC. Go ahead. I don't
because when you think of
if people showing you
mama,
who they are, but if people showing you who they are, who's the fool if you keep expecting them to be something that they not, D?
I don't think it's a thing of expectation, but it's part of the letting them see this is not behavior that is conducive to you being a good mama. If you want, but you want to be a good mama, so this is not behavior of a good mama. So at least you know
that's oxymoron though. If you want to be a good mom, do the stuff that good moms and good people do.
So when you do something that's outside of that description of a good mom,
if you took my money,
I'll bet so.
I ain't trying. Come on, talk to me. Talk to me. You going to yourself. Your mama took your $3,000. You gonna go to her and say, you know, mom, this is not really nothing a good parent would do.
Yeah, by that time, it's gone too far.
And I'm not trying to shoot the list down.
It's gone too far.
Saying like, dude, most of the time when we get to these places with moms, man, we're adults.
Now, because I'm saying this because I know my wife when she was teaching, and now she deals with kids with trauma. There is a thing where you have to separate them from the action to where they recognize the action as not being part of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they strive to be the ideal as opposed to continue to rock the same way they've been going. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think for Black mothers, we got to do the same thing. Now she's wrong. But you separate and say, moms don't do something like this, or good moms would never.
Okay. Yeah.
So she can understand you can't ride that good mom if you keep behaving like this. We're gonna call it what it is.
So I'm gonna check my account. If that money ain't back in that account.
There's gonna be some smoke in the city.
That money ain't coming back to that.
No, bro. Charge that to the game, bro. Charge that to the game.
That money is not coming back to that account.
She gonna stand on that.
Oh, what you talking about? You go get mad anytime you bring it up. Number three.
Third thing we got to do is we got to encourage community support. Moms need community support too. What I mean by community support, women or other moms need to hold other moms accountable to making sure they doing this thing right. And I think women have gotten to the point where they lie to each other so much.
Oh, where you going? I'm gonna need a police escort to get out of here tonight.
No, that's what they do. And then when you find a woman that's being honest, now they label her as something to say you're not a part of us. They call them pick-me's and all this type of stuff. They label you because they don't want you being honest about, I'll never forget that young lady, it wasn't about her being a mom, but she wanted a relationship. And she was like, I don't know how to do relationship. She was crying. She was like, nobody taught me how to do relationship. I want to be better though. She had came to a point. She's like, I want to be better. So I just don't know. I need help. She was saying, I need help. Some people need to have some honest, moments like that as far as being moms. Now I know everybody gonna jump in the comments. What about that? And see, that's one of the biggest deflections when it comes to holding Black mamas accountable. People always come, what about daddy? But we know daddy wasn't there. We know he was a mess.
Hold on, let me say this. I just remember I was at church a couple of weeks ago, and the pastor was running. He was on dad. He was on dad so tough.
Oh, bro.
He was on dad so tough. You know me. I'm sitting there saying,
yeah.
Hell, if the women would do this, and for a split second, I thought to myself, see, that's the problem. I can't get you to look in the mirror long enough for you to figure out what's going on with you because you're worried about what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And that's all we're trying to do, guys. We're trying to get everybody to look in the mirror at themselves to help fix themselves.
Yeah.
If we can get everybody to do that, then will nobody go unscathed. But because I can't, as soon as you start talking about men, I immediately was ready to deflect on women. Well, but the women over there, immediately, and I had to catch myself.
But typically men are more used to taking that scrutiny, and it's not abuse. We take it. You see the coach that kid make bad play, come off the sideline, he grab him by his face mask, and he in his face, all that hot breath in his face, and that kid like this, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. And then he go back out and he do what he said.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're more used to getting that than, because typically you ain't gonna find nobody that's gonna stand on women, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've seen. I'm just saying my honest. I haven't seen it. If you've seen it, let me know. But I haven't seen that.
I ain't seen that.
Now I've seen mamas and daughters get into it, and that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother show. But
that's the reason why women don't trust women.
Oh,
because their relationships with their moms.
Oh yeah,
which is something that we didn't get into.
Yeah,
most,
we did. Yeah,
most women don't trust other women because their relationship with their mom ain't like it needed to be.
Boy, let's get to number 4. Number 4 is we have to teach accountability early. Now, here's the problem with this. In order to teach it, I have to be an example of it.
That's the only way you can teach
I have to display it.
That's the only way you can teach it. That's the only way you can teach it. Yes.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Now, you say you want your kids to be better. You say you want your kids to be, then I got to teach. I got to model. That's what I was looking for. I have to model the behavior that I want to see. I have to model it. Otherwise, you get back to that do as I say, not as I do. It don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. But teaching accountability early, have a plan for how you have these conversations. Have a plan. Don't wait till Thanksgiving and then let somebody say something, and then all of a sudden these verbal vomits coming from everywhere, and everybody starts spilling all the beans about what really happened, what really went down.
Trying to figure out where it came from.
Right.
Where it come from? What's going on?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's not wait to those moments. Because what if you go somewhere like that and somebody try to tell your kids something about you, and your kids say, yeah, she told me about that. Think how that diffuses the foolishness that could be coming towards your house because you beat them to the punch. You said, you know what, baby, let me sit you down. Let me tell you, because I want you to be smarter about life than me. Let me tell you some of the decisions I've made and some of the things that I've done that I'm not proud of.
Mama was a mess. Mama,
I was out here. Did
girl,
we tell you?
About them streets, girl. Girl, you know why they make sidewalks? To the streets ain't for everybody.
They used to call me. No, I'm saying. Oh, like that woman on that show, Felicia Rashad character, talking about all the temptation. Well, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing.
And I think because one reason why it's so hard for the younger generation to identify with us is because we put ourselves on the pedestal. We had to walk to school in the snow both ways. We won't become real with them and say, listen, man, I blew it just like you blew it.
Yeah. Despite the progressions in technology, despite how society, people are the same. Our motivations have not changed. When you threaten us, we still act the same way. Now, our devices may be different, but we still the same. People are people, have always been. Now, what's available to them and what conveniences they have, that may change. But people have always been the same. Always been the same. And one of the things that I see that probably hurts us more than anything is we don't understand just how bad our decisions affect us until we get old and we regretting it.
Oh man!
And then when you try to tell young people, man, you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest things that disconnect between the older generation and the younger generation is killing us because we just keep on repeating the same mistakes.
Well, in that day, most of the time, the older generations had an opportunity to reach out to the generation, or we wouldn't do it, or we weren't ready to do it. We weren't ready to be honest about it yet.
Yeah,
we still felt like we had some more living that we could do, and so now we can't get them to come in. We can't get them to come and talk to us no more.
Yeah. Let me tell you about your mama. Final thoughts, man. Final thoughts. What you got for the people, bro?
Well, again, let's go. I just want to go back to the mirror. The mirror, the one thing about the mirror is there for everybody. And we just want, the only way we gonna become better is we all got to look in the mirror and figure out what we can do to make things better. We all have fallen short, and man, we all have an opportunity to get it right and do it right. But the only way we can do that is we got to take a look in the mirror and say, how and what could I be better and do better? And it starts with you, whether that be him or her. It starts with you. And I think that's why Man Talk Monday is so great, because we're calling everybody to the carpet. Mama, it's just your day. Your legs gonna be a little whipped up because we switching the hell out you today, Mama. But that don't mean we don't love you. That's my final thought.
You know, it's something that happens when a person is doing something that, especially to you, that you know should be happening or they shouldn't be doing, and you can't say nothing about it. That's a form of abuse. That's really what it is. And mamas, we have no problem with you wearing a crown. We'll give you all of your flowers. Mother's Day, we'll take you out to eat. We'll buy up all the stuff. We just ask that you be worthy of it. Be worthy of the praise. Be worthy of the accolades. Be worthy of that house that son is now went to get for you. Not just off the strength that you mama, but be worthy. That's all we're saying. Be worthy. Because when you're not, and people are doing stuff out of obligation. So the love you think you're getting is not really love, it's just obligation. But we want to hold women up. We just want it to be real. We want it to be honest. Got no problem doing it. We just want it to be real. So we're just asking women to just think about, if you're a black mom, just think about, if you have a black mom, let's think about, we got to talk about some things. We got to uncover some things, or else it becomes this thing that's really, it's a stink that we trying to find. We trying to find it. We know where it is, but it's like, nope, it ain't there. Nope, it ain't there. Yeah, we know where it is, but we got to deal with it if we want everything to get right and everything to be healthy. So let's push for the honesty. Let's push for the openness. And that's my final thought.
There's something in that trash stink.
Bruh, ain't nothing like a stink you can't find.
Yeah. But most of the time, we so used to not saying nothing. But this generation is all about, we ain't keeping that secret. We're telling everything.
I heard a real estate person say that they would do that as a trick. Say they would go and, for like the shower curtain, nobody pulls down shower curtains. They would go and stuff shrimp.
Really?
In the shower curtain, and let the house just stink. And wouldn't nobody want to buy it. And then they would drive it down because they don't get no movement, so the price changes. And so now they get the price down and they go and buy the house because won't nobody else touch it, because what is this smell? I don't know, there's something about this smell. But they knew what it was.
Wow.
That's a trick some real estate people have done before.
But and I think the trick of the enemy is being quiet, not talking about it. Yeah, hey man, it's time to start talking.
Yeah,
it's time to start talking before you have to.
Right
now you have a choice, but most of the time that stuff comes out when we don't want to talk about it.
That's it.
It's never really a good time. Just like it ain't a good time to go to jail. I remember a police officer asked me one time, say, "This is a good time for you to go to jail?" I was like, "No, not really. That's some stuff I want to do today."
Ain't no time like the present.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't no time like the present. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do. All those adages. Listen, we have enjoyed bringing this show to y'all. Don't forget, if you like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe. We're gonna holler at y'all next Monday. Don't miss it.
Be blessed.
Peace out.